What are the Browns waiting for? The hole in their wide receiver core is huge, and betting everything on youngsters like Tillman and Thrash borders on irresponsibility. Meanwhile, a former defensive terror, Gabe Davis, continues to float on the market. And in the midst of this scenario, are there still those who blame Sheduer Sanders for Sheduer's drop in the draft? The latest on the Cleveland Browns is very interesting. So subscribe to the channel if you're a Browns fan, and let's get to the news. All right, someone's got to say it. What exactly are the Browns waiting for? It doesn't take a genius to see that this Cleveland roster has some glaring holes, and wide receiver is screaming the loudest of them all. They've barely touched the position all offseason, unless you count bringing in Diontae Johnson, who isn't exactly the dynamic game changer he once was. That's not filling a hole. That's putting duct tape on a busted dam. The plan seems like the front office is crossing its fingers that guys like Cedric Tillman or rookie Jamari Thrash suddenly turn into stars behind Jerry Jeudy. That's not a plan. It's a hope and pray strategy. And with the real possibility that a young QB takes the reins at some point this season, relying on unproven talent to carry the load at receiver feels downright reckless. Now, no one's pretending there's a Pro Bowl stud sitting on the market just waiting for a phone call, but Gabe Davis is out there. Yes, that Gabe Davis. The guy who used to torch secondaries with Josh Allen and the Bills. Sure, he flamed out in Jacksonville after signing a 3-year deal, logging just 20 catches before an injury cut his season short. But come on, in Buffalo, he averaged nearly 17 yards a grab. That kind of big play ability doesn't just vanish overnight. He's not perfect. Never was. He'll drop a few, disappear in stretches, but he's still only 26 and would probably come on a cheap 1-year deal. That's exactly the kind of low-risk, high-reward move the Browns should be making right now. So unless Cleveland's cooking up something wild behind the scenes, it's time to stop waiting. Go get Davis, because hoping for a breakout is one thing, but ignoring the obvious is a whole different ballgame. Do you think the Browns should go after Gabe Davis? Let me know, because the Sheduer situation and the Dion hype are even more absurd. So apparently, the Sheduer Sanders conversation isn't quite dead yet, because here comes FS1's Jason McIntyre, once again tossing gasoline on a fire that barely existed to begin with. And this time, he's got a brand new spicy take. Sheduer didn't fall to the 5th round because of his tape, his mechanics, or his transition from Colorado. No, it's Dion's fault. Yep, you read that right. McIntyre went full circle on the herd this week, essentially saying, this is why NFL teams said no thanks to Sheduer. And the this he's pointing at? Dion finally addressing his son's shocking slide a whole month later. Not angrily, not unhinged, just honestly. But apparently, that was enough to throw McIntyre into full-blown, "See, I told you!" mode. Let's be real. Dion's quote was about as measured and protective as any proud dad's would be. You're going to tell me he went into a meeting unprepared? Sheduer Sanders? Come on, man. That's not a rant. That's a father. Defending a kid who fell 140-plus picks further than he was projected just a few months ago. Calling that already complaining is just lazy spin. It's been 5 weeks since the draft. If Dion had said something the night of the 3rd round, maybe you could say he was reactive. But the man waited over a month, and even then, his comments weren't disrespectful. They were direct, sure, but grounded in reality. He's right to be frustrated. What parent wouldn't be? Meanwhile, Sheduer's been all business since arriving in Cleveland. Coach Kevin Stefanski's already singing his praises, saying, I like everything there is about Sheduer. He's done everything we've asked. No drama, no diva antics, just a rookie QB showing up and putting in the work. But that doesn't fit McIntyre's narrative, does it? So instead, he tries to manufacture outrage out of thin air and turn a dad defending his son into a liability. The only real distraction here isn't Dion or Sheduer. It's media types like McIntyre still trying to twist the spotlight. The truth is that the Browns need to act, not dream. And as for Sheduer, it's not him who's bothering them. It's the people who thrive on controversy. If you enjoy this kind of direct analysis, subscribe so you don't miss anything about the Browns.